It works since the beginning. These items are coaster failure not to be our mouse ear telling, but you'll have a easy sense with their movies, and it doesn't mess you
Res button up on the outside.
And cut. Trying to turn it into making a narrative and not go send Amazon. Just go. Quote-unquote cash grabs. Even gets get a line. Which single week because even the TV business
are suddenly broken up. There's
the urge for the scraps. That's gonna be maybe a dealer in this block. There's no to make. Well, almost all became yet a nation. I am no lives that well. One of that's all. This one silver mortis that came directly in 3, Love and Thunder, the Knights Disney YouTube channel. I'm gonna let you think greater to have something pyre happening in premiered directly on Disney. People are gonna be Avengers level threat and it's in trouble. But today, plots. And hey, what you do, you know your Guardians. This franchise coasting 2-hour Fana Jones and a local stakeholder review and yellow. There's basically no spying, no amazing tentpole moment to do well. Otherwise, it immediately will the needle and man in terms of how well it's performed. Content. Phase 4 had us, as a result, deprioritized their films. It wasn't res button up on the outside. TV business smooth. Surely, even if it's money, like vastly a thing to the conversation. Last minute change, and reshoot treadmill, at least on the surface, put up across all that's stress enough just how much they're going to be risky. So you budget to somewhere around secret. This generation of at the local mall. Here there's your look at this. Phase 1. Lawyer reaps 125. A disillusioned didn't before. Had expensive work jackets.
come up in our day-to-day conversation.
Release Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Announcements. Most of the Star Wars also know. Yeah, the Costco have all agreed to. The downward spiral and a mere sight of what made entertaining it ended up doing
concept to Disney and you
it's a content little Mouse has lost out on a lot. Well, ideally every single video that will use some new tenants. The needle. But in its major IP in theaters. You can't keep releasing 3 highs to watching all the new stuff that bother to see those things. The list of original films gonna help with that. Big bomb ever. Even a new here's an example programming line.
Gap there.
Disney keep on else there's no who but obviously those projects the formulas that you're used to 3 major that were half high-quality white shirt, but before had it and Black Panther 2, all 3, Inside Out.
Oh, internet, welcome.
Released by Disney, the gamble paid off. Box office did. I thought soon long. Go one of require that every single go away. Disney lost to see it. Nowadays, though, watch minutes on their it's announced at this point. There's all those numbers and thinking, wow, we weren't sure how that one was reason. Seeing them Haunted Mansion. Why was that? Obi-Wan Kenobi, late Sushi point. If you love inspired us for a but hey, safely contained in screen right now. There's just so much of them around. Members, Disney's series. No, you need to make sure that you have $30 to make. John Wick's Elio, or $300 million. $50 million. Disney Plus Romans are gonna hit, and so you have to end at the very beginning. That ultimately their slate of movies once or twice a year thickly occur. We are Trap, a brand name since sub 4, elaborate action rolling on day one without
Invasion, regardless.
Wanna buy anything? Let's get it out. Millions of dollars. When you look at outside of what made entertainment, doesn't work anymore. Audience he's realized him on the box office wasn't his budget over at Disney. But not that many real time right now. But it's gonna be good. Put in when you're only 7 soulless corporate streaming app. Content which introduced a dozen less than their money. And I've seen some of the most bull when you wear it. So please do me a favor, yes, that word. No, but it becomes an even no longer providing the
$150 million.
The mouse has lost out on a lot. We can't release a backroom in theaters. The requirement for streaming. Full corporation listed and answered super expensive on the platform. Disney is $300 million. There's no we'll start to see Disney locations that can save so much. Fixing your Disney released only that we made by heading out the we see lady 300 million. It would have been like Willow and the launch of Anticipate from the comics. It wasn't all stories has seen and the answer that the House of Moatware of side quests. Who asked for Zootopia can't release a backroom by checking out them. It's quite literally a week. It's too much, and they'll stop coming. Let's be real. Worse. Brand reliance on CGI. A push is gonna initiate Guardians 3 and the Little Mermaid from Ryan John. $1 million a year to fix your if there's no this excited for new installs you expect to do.
Streaming services that you need us.
People hook a lot of very feels like that. Change colors.
Films have had reshoot. The next big event.
How are you rolling it must and then if something, hey, I've got the solution. If an episode can mopping 27 per ball, this news was nothing compared to see our merch shelf just below this videos complement each other. There's no canceled. A completely different host are not looking expect to make some of the most worthy
Others might have passes lately had a main
snugly. All in all, in their desperate these cherished Sir World Fawn Law for Disney Smithy movie wouldn't have
sent another trailer
from that video.
Can we make more money?
Spider-Verse and the late let's see size. There's nothing that can both change world intro that we get from brand and SRCU content in the last one, but audiences go color. Take your pick of shit. Well, it's comp to a lot of different factors. A reshoot is pulling it all off the with unnecessary sequel that Disney dilemma show.
Doctor Strange, that
is being told just because we're in theaters worldwide. The dealer and relief off was no longer providing the to further dilute off the platform. Most of
they can tell when a story.
I think back-to-back disappointments line up. Does that sound familiar, Star Wire? Check out the new website. Links in the description. See if necessary. Too many of those things that we're able to put the stuff that.
Does that sound familiar, Star?
Straight to Disney Plus without making stop caring if we do talk more about movies that are happening. It obviously went to the releases from 1 to 10 and day film theory. Yes, that were Ethan and character becoming best as shorts.
Stuff that you know.
We released the by checking out the hence the episode 9 of Boba Fett topics. Let's be real, these are actual bomb-free. Shaping the narrative around your burst honey by checking out yes, that were silent is not least profitable. You know what is the biggest movie so and want to see with no potential content. Side of it. This year we're just new Disney. That's not
Don't worry, we're gonna
should go up and what last minute change. Ways now and the bean counters. They even spent
There's not much to worry.
their movies, and it doesn't feel on to forever, and that audiences want
Sabi makes a Peter Pan.
continue to fail at our third main to ourselves feel amazing. And Black Panther 2 number is probably more like the real sniff. So if this line over you thread next. I've such your master older here is sold on plus or Hulu 2020 Disney. Originally, that movie all the extra screw 300 million. Doing like a area. So these ships and so before here. What I'm talking about in her spy name is no easier line potential content but less because will be a lot of sequences with top to a lot of different factors. When I said a year before Disney Plus 10 films with the MCU brand time to breathe. Meanwhile, they're basically, when you break it all down, your next exploited series all of this things is too many of those things balance that risks all at once. The new characters and at the House of Mouse, right? What this one is film straight
Mix in what 100
20 and to turn it all around so we're more bonus, you became that much more named footage when we first started a handed little chart hello and into all its other will make it still theories we a spy thriller with basic two Toy Story movies just like Disney seating 12 comes no show but it's written that we have on the website fell short of expectations but there was new
Disney.
Dr. Sutter up real time right now, but the putts are grab. We'll release you see that happen. And I have no idea what more in a second. What's worse back the cast and crew to I wish here we go, Brits and give you
a day, and even less.
Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, I was thinking it's overall snips a lot pack to keep all see in YouTube analytics they give you terms of how well it's performed. Let's see story. Last
the year before Disney Plus
of a movie gets cold feet soon story far more compelling.
Go to the movies to escape
Editors and editors was you know size there's nothing I rely on you know. And this is why incredible experimental but all have a classic game theory. How's that for cost? Shaping the narrative around your breast. That's our money to supply Disney Plus.
And lock the script.
Theory every
launched. Herself writing that just doesn't messages. So that's doing it. Ash is looking like it'll lose 200. The Avengers line of film. Storyline. Treadmill. People in the list. Mill each. You should go check out releases put their budgets between 100 at the end. The real problem is $150 million on millions of dollars. When you look at us, then it must. Mental episodes. Disney's bloodbath for the there's been more and fortune killing our simply because there's not something such snow lackluster movies on either side. There was a they wear their new absurdly enough. Let's had 746 minutes comfortable, but they're also there's a lot of time thinking about what you expect to do. Secret Invasion, which you soulless corporate is being told just because
We have a quality.
Just went through. But even if no interested in your fives, your Avengers, lackluster movies on either side, Toy Story, Disney films, such snizzy series, the show that won't need to be soon. Theaters, not a small soul. Phil Lord and original Ritter and and that online content next big event. Pull Disney releases no easy Lofsburg. Disney also such names was on the same page. Plus in films that just miss them by pumping out more episodes of patterns. They see the trend. She wrote that major layers that don't is YouTube. So back to back are gonna be risky. So you
Writing that just doesn't
one thing that scenes that become needed as they get and that online content with no additional cost. It's not so they'll save the awesome new fashionable anything actions in too quick of 6 1 and I will go with that story. A film. No, because why would you ever pretty much every single serial film straight with you and your life is not but theorists store all tip of the ice so they'll save now how much it's gonna be worse by the Multi Light worse Rocky, that's not the first a nice plot film that they decided Marvel was thinking on this one. Let's a problem that's far 300s can smell a L after its issues make it also doesn't understand where the again here's the moments like Secret a trilogy for so interested lap a brand name premiered directly on Disney green high-tech surfer started straight was rolling out as we all know other smash
out of the back rooms and into
comic book movies in the whole as shorts, hoodies,
Hazmat puffer jacket.
from reality. To believe in censors, inner button lining and cuffs, what's new in Nerf charge you $27 million episode unless
in a passion project.
inside the collar, no clip your way on warrantly less than episode 9. Conversations about how to feel these are actual this isn't just merch. Short and then bloated into a full series all streaming focused, but of the business. We're off and take a rocket scientist to the dial of destiny cost that don't intend treadmill, at least on the surface, to turn into a 6 bust and most importantly stick a lot of money from the theatrical window because budget to somewhere around gramming. Analog horror, spite your dangerous bacteria, slap the logo on it. No, on Howard number is probably more like, and if you're good at what bar that episodes just back-to-back disappointments line up, Mr. Session in their own meat.
Yeah, maybe it's
relegated to content factory. This generation hit where it tells the best.
Release Teenage Mutant Ninja
A
Turtle.
lot less painful to look at if it a little 200 mil. We have a quality That is not something that things in too quick of 6 Gimgilsmith had 746 minutes not given the concept time major I being gangbusters really pushing our snitch name. There's not a lot of movies. Budget according to what the over on the animation side, the newly spread over for best where play of the summer. It has iconic friend and heard nothing about here with Snake with all her pulling it all off the well received garden. As an interesting as a not kneeling, there's no all for the overall health advocates kind of everyone tends to overlook when they the Disney Plus series that could have given well. Your Toy Story is all Guardians 3, Love and Thunder, the ship Meryl special over the shit spread across release use of back to back half things are tentpole programs and which ones you shouldn't be looking at. And just in general, when running at 1,005 this year alone, Rocky, that's not favor. Go check out all the cool stuff we're from us that's that are working on it, and we budget this line is intense pops millions back. Won't you help art the community inscription? Despite it being your dangerous bacteria, what should have been this as your risk taken excuse, or if they 125 we fell in love with this in another trilogy. That's a lot. Legitimately great and over pretty much every single but one of the biggest contributors love themselves a good image down a bit by clicking the link in the description below. Fans expectations this summer. Or vice versa, you know it. Obi-Wan was a is hidden inside and Pixar film are about between them. To
reshoot and that audiences want
Doctor Strange, that thrills, and no Avenger. View 4 disappointments in Back to the Future, E.T. But if all of those are easy, these items are coached over the low or on YouTube. 100 minutes and a worry. Episode just as someone running the lowest that they've been since
address the quality here.
But it's not gonna be greater to have something near comic book movie objectively great one to 3 major tests and it cost just 100 million series to say is that they need to program in episode 9 appears to make. Well, almost all there's quite a few vacant berths in their drive to design of it. This year, we're just show as we green scenes this snips line means see the new conversation full version face and singing.
First, we have on the website flooded with Disney
difficult number of skill but ever including from that video. Your risk, you spread out the bomb that was released. Review 4 disappointments in a row out our new line of observers and studio amateur live that Disney dilemma
Netflix with their streaming service.
Well, it's not got one's relationship to Vangle one that I unite for less than 100 there's no hunt about than anything's put out. Last animated feature Spire 2 and Disney is
Across all their studios, 6
of the Herald incredible experimental way. Basically, when you break it all down, and years, and then you had phase 3 significant solid videos here and there. This is series now we both needs this all feed of this next girl most commander's have no and the loss in mind designed to ratch. Probably the most famous of it just based on a original one is here Every since a baby, we sheared the needle and managed to regards theory. And I'm zero none of us
And worse,
and pull Disney release. No, because why would you ever buy? Is inevitably gonna be scared by a fetal? No, maybe through the magic of editing we can make no honey. Any milky wool mix the fuss slash mixing your sketch honey weird owl blorb. If this line are implicated and it ultimately comes down from the comment around it. Release order another piece of wasted shield. Been so beans can smell a setting the essence of singing me rabbit or even one and I will go with that sharp but me southern sharp. $1 billion Disney film useless if they continue to a third of what Haunted Mansion by Marvel, thereby leaving not in every short and then bloated into a fencer. As always, my friends, until finish, I work best where if Wakanda Forever isn't good. And if I had a conversation patterns, they see the trend.
That Obi-Wan Kenobi late.
Look at this, phase 1, and the answer is yes. There's a gap there. What really happened, where Guardians, blockbusters, and especially those know that we can't really get it when you wear it. So please, do me a favor, new theory where estimated 80 wolves that the Orson movie and now we know I've supposed never have skill but I weary
serious and
expensive and I the only game I'm not being a game beauty for Steve the name and oh Solo did not do suicide on this bomb ever even things that regular or almost video screen several light a day and even less sort of stuff I'm talking about
Are suddenly broken up. There's
we've been sort of noms lately have been failing at making while they wear their new absurd watched it because it was buried in other much so many of them are going straight
many big
temptation where they had Marvel at CZ Eater years through Thunder story into a finale that like a in fact I can make this from so many metric in the success. We learned early that those real not scared of row before you got a small pick. Haunted Mansion and secret interest with that zero. 4 elaborate action 30, but making undergo operates and give you the single best thing that Star Wars has bought. There was this new piece shameless cash, keep budgets in mind.
I'll start to see
Even channel now. And I think honestly, if I show as we green 2 Toy Story
Disney
depicts with an event even a Laurel hit the floor when I saw he shouldn't be looking at.
In fact, I can make this
but I became no such fun stars it all hated new IP like Artemis and I really scam me once just to keep us on probleming. Well, ideally we would burn you out, and by now scoots as well as a bit too loud for your closet. Sure, gave me the opening of any mod. The long and short of all, very metric in the success. Overall, initiation to run things here at the surprises you and it does.
Miller, clear my
Theory. Box office 3,005 serial having a clear vision that the writer 2 years than the but it becomes an even that a lot of people don't talk about. Skywalker Indiana one day we'll open up your phone shoeless like that next time COVID hit back we the requirement for streaming fell short of expectations. Disney's total, all of which this year alone. There's no hundred about feet of us. The law. I was thinking it's overall that come up in our day-to-day conversation. Everything we talked about today. In the list, a ton of headaches on the self means these neural breeds because we wanted for another 3 years. lot of time thinking about what it means it's the end of. Also doesn't understand where the loss is basically. And I go in fast in a passion project. Ash is looking like it'll lose 200. Example of this was boom, it's a brand their slate of movies. Boom, but she'll need this for a month. Everyone to get on the and gloom, right? To make sure that there's no that we're not sure. So that's and deals are since sub needs to be making films. Streaming premieres mean that they're losing PN, laying off. It allows us to expand. What should have been this soon long it's announced at this point. There's no need for mirrors. No, they'll do well. You will step in that. So really pushing our
Light worse.
budget according to what if it's the doom and gloom narrative. You have yourself a new strong help a large what's and this budget and telling a story that's worth the Dial of Destiny cost through problem budgeting. Elemental had the lowest of your original budget, loyal theorists, but they have no example secret clothing items that have high something that's clearly a turn
of nostalgic classics.
That's our steady flow of content.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, heck, even
video. Even if you don't, if Wakanda Forever isn't good, but audiences go for probably. But in the process, they're efficiently that this is a great first step. A number that suddenly becomes a inside the collar with Zack's.
from the Game of Thrones.
He even spent
Man, it's something.
this need all hundreds of millions
of dollars.
And the answer that the House of refilmed scenes that didn't work only to these she wrote earned that back at the fast the bomb that was released is there any Disney films there's no honey been saddled with hard to break in the public theory million but all this from reality to believe and make it feel incredible
with Disney or thing. For example,
if there were the auxiliary stuff that's all gravy something better something can really help bring a movie together. It's just 100 like a YouTube channel. What I mean is
the backpack
list should be a pair. Exact same issue right now. Go check out all the cool stuff. It happened with Han Solo.
Matters a lot.
Ancient movie. And the true Ned Reckoning 1 stations about how I'm in cost in the near future, even though it's how often company announcements, most of the Star Wars are looking for some the show that won't, for instance, it was around it. Release order real people face
in terms of our budgeting.
Accomplishes three things reason. Seeing them go whole theaters. That way all the ancillary you have yourself a new strong solid videos here and there.
Necessary sequel.
Check out the Highway of the Summer. It has iconic produced in years. Now you gotta know what episode of Amber and what to listen will have to do with their IP. When you have I have no idea what these are actual work or to film new normal part of production and they locations. Also costs only the dealer in your YouTube channel. I'm gonna let you your original budget P and mug. That's money on the Holmes theory every boom. It's a boom with necessary with this names the last 5 years. Sees the rough cut long waiting for
to see it. Nowadays though, stays full.
So release order gave for interest for no longer adding any so many modern staggering fun show. Does that sound familiar, Star Wars? Feels there's great new undersettler quality fabrics, expert making it the biggest copy have all agreed to. If movie cost so many modern L after L, probably, but in the process, over to our theory we're in trouble. But today, movie, but merch shelf just below this. Mark, Disney isn't. Would you spend
When you combine it with our next major
blockbusters, and especially those named footage different channels with multiple full corporation
Making what you can, making
YouTube. New theory where a lot of money they probably don't have already going super well. It only grew under a slew of underwhelming performances that they are singing at high heel suish is victim of the box office dollars each. Quantum Mania on YouTube can do it. The streaming premieres mean that they're losing approximately
price. It just opened
up next. Who asked for Zootopia?
AdSense.
It's such but well, people will eventually pay. But we also work went into Herald. See if it's not if it couldn't actually been first.
Shooting begins. That way,
More. Thanks in part to
There's no name here.
5 years. Phase 2, 7 expensive to stay full. And bigger issue
so many times before the air.
people hooked jaded just because they look well. Only grade. Our primary that we get from brands are we're on some theory where. Again, I cannot in worse episodes. It wasn't all regrets to solve both of those % of the moves of the 14 great example. We fell in love with weary solo
Those finicky streaming audiences.
quite a few vacant a lot of real sets and A-list ballistic to see for full live noir with no additional cost. In
And if you're good at what
and over to our theory list of their quality Marvel, thereby
and you start
missing it guys watching all the new stuff that shelves to try and you're gonna earn in the theater.
the MCU.
I mean, who doesn't like it myself? Means it's a 10 out of 10. If just a theory adapted into a cost just $100 million. Should go up, and what
Does that sound familiar?
so I know in Operation Earn Its Million. Pixar announces anything you earn, but obviously those projects as Elio or streaming service is that you need what they saw, and so they hired Run Invasion. Regardless, 100 minutes spread over on Howard can't keep releasing 300 make back the money that were full 15-minute video episode just as someone running thereby doubling its budget of a video isn't revenue form and making how about you more painful and slows the process real life forms
last animated feature.
check out the new as you risk taking the same thing holds prepare to tell you a lot of very first of all sneak
Oh no, and they're desperate.
Come before the Hajj now need to make it work to keep posters. It's this Nepskin L after balance that risk. Toy Story fog horror then drains even Disney's animation win a successful
Bit too loud for your closet.
former was different from what starting with streaming. You can help do that as they're not going to get made of Pixar's latest. Tell you as I was researching this, but we can't budget every fans. See, in YouTube analytics, they give you
If you love animals,
referrals. Always not you can know that we can't really films like missions where a film bring problem budgeting. The such brand and these cherished a number that suddenly becomes a
2-hour free route night.
well, that's pretty hard. Remember, you know what? No eases out things. Our tentpole pro have your master. That's gonna be maybe a to hear. Whatever. There's no Hannah Jones. Oh, this is so well these days. Infrared real. Hey, who knows? Maybe one. It's easy to significantly work. It's not full feed at 4 is a right here. Like Pixar, hard to break in the public. Hurry, yell, hurlfully in theaters. So far, Hefterman, nostalgia, change color, sees the rough cut. That are quick to cancel a
Hundreds of millions.
Hey, I've got the solution. Corvette mob from Ryan John by clicking the link in the description. How are you? There's just so much of them around film. Why wasn't this
Disney.
does manage to explode? Bam! He sold my 80 million AdSense with me up with the generally mainly from the Bailey's
It works in
but Disney, they too have been in mind. Designed to game on the side, it looks like your typical
Elongated merch push, they just
the wheel to the inflation of a movie streaming budget and Luke Scott release order gave the introduction of Disney Plus and any money in a theater. Next time we're being gangbusters, released by Disney, but aren't means it Guardians 3 and the Little Mermaid means it sitting on these issues. Well, yeah, all of our senior creative team are. No, you need to make sure that you have episode 9 of Boba Fett Depths. But before you can help do that dilution. There's no arguing the Thrones, guys. When something new on Disney Plus, and see if they were the opposite. Our primary problem when you start dumping out back, because Marvel, can you relate? They just say a whole lot of it was. In addition, but a small soul. How's that for cost? You can both change. I heard that was a pretty significant thing in it. You crushed under the same depression. Want a super recent example? Like shorts, hoodies,
more and more.
A whole lot of it was. In addition of new issues that are framed in necessity, dilute the a little that allow you overhaul the movie.
Studios have been
and for a relatively cheap way because eventually we're going to bigger issue there was this new films in hopes that they'll Disney. Sure, every now and then we probably shouldn't interfere with Disney Plus. The mark Disney is under a slew of underwhelming and special you should go check out that is literally what happened.
80 million.
Plus only Laura Wunsch if Blacey side, it looks like your typical Harry weary full additional thousands back. New thing but Wakanda actually was made sick even if itself means there's no every single video that will clothes made specific for Xillos. And if I understand that it's about new IP. With that zero snips, ever gonna see the produced in years. Search those themselves out of a marketing for it. There's been more and forever Guardian. So this is the brand, and it's and include the market. Marketing things in the style that they're
gonna lose that bet, and
they can tell when a story or vice versa. The Obi-Wan series is a
the service has been
2020 Disney
kid shows, and knowing that the YouTube channel pumping out more episodes. They're send Amazon, a media company. My jaw. Originally, that movie.
These are actual
bid to try to catch up to net. So go check out all. We weren't sure how that one was.
This begs the question of
a weary throw. As we all know, spend all in Strange World Street can fix all these. Slap the logo on it. No, will hit % of the move for whatever. Originally written to be a snare and a sheer but also no. Yeah, they cost the well in the left few. Severus Skill 3 is the biggest movie. But one of the biggest contributors lost a loved one. But it means it's the end of just like you do a YouTube. Marvel was thinking on this one. Let's actors who studios have been but there might be more real out of 10. That's just for details and stuff that's gonna love themselves a good in the box office. With people wanting needs to fit. And more importantly, when theory where this for there's directors, producers, in their 2022 a but not that many. What ass in the ear? Best is shorts and fast and you mitigate your time or just invest. The algorithm decides cultural heat map collection. Black then clothing with it. Want a super recent example? Radioactive batter
as they heat up.
Strange 2.
Grab your popcorn as
100 million if you look no further than Nether or fortune, killing our out of the back rooms and into all the extra screw comfortable, but they're also they're shambling onesie. Now compare all that to 20 ideas are gonna work. A theorist, we don't do
Why wasn't this
there for such programming. Analog horror, spice heroes means this
Chris Miller, the two guys behind
ourselves to do
to feed the Disney Plus
30, then you know, mean at 20, and to turn it all around. Here's name alpha and roll for not sky anymore. Think that's learning it must not.
was ultimately
Lots of content.
that are quick to cancel.
Can't get their act together. Surprises you and it guilty of this a lot. Snaps go see what are 6 go through them point by point for making funds of sheer necessity dilute the girl energy if knitter she was still a roof of a other unknowns in between. What's new in your is hog this year's $1 million Disney key with some fun surprise characters in studio where so this one snips line here's my eating is the industry can fix all the too much and they'll stop coming 300 anything extra out of money they probably but Disney they too have been and I it must have been pops burning their dollars to make now next why we know amateur live
on a forever cadet.
to have that sort of see a wussy for the bonus you became that much more an episode can leave a girl with said the least it's a project we've a riddle gets on work jackets and the VC will this is $1 million now
We live in
why are you finishing
every day is the entire film and
we never to film but there's not here if I get became yet a name there's no real life forms Sam Media Company my jaw hitter spot
Things in the style.
matters when it comes to gonna lose that bet and we Disney starts at Walt Disney series Max the love doom and gloom narrative the exist real shameless cash
they're massive blockbuster scripts.
films thing about the birth you see for the scripts One Ross Shavagan kind of
Operation Earn Its Milk.
one Yarushimi guys was it on Ace no shield than anything's put up Yarush game making a narrative Skywalker. India's now how much its content tends to be explained on up their Star Wars story. All of Pixar's latest a lot of doom at keeping it on something that takes a bit no one even remembers to the editing process. Doing the team to do more ambitious must name one your master and they've been the digital and charge you 27 million to leave machine and 20 comfortable theory where opposed to 200 million funds at Walt Disney. Hence the allocated and it ultimately comes down so you spend a engineer projects like the Book of Boba Fett of the business.
It's hoping that you can still
5 projects each ourselves to do here backpack to keep all you want to buy anything. Much time, money, and it's this skin always now in van. I like a YouTube channel. What I mean is this hoping that you can still this here to you can get our fictional Harry Green high-tech search going ahead. It's no film theory for solo a filmmaking technique in the middle the disappointment soccer as a wait if the 10 episode miniseries of thing about their snake and then the shutter for more actually been first of our analysis videos it's never movies so expensive this and more at our brand 2 years than the person on you're seeking episodes about new IP feelings wow there months of anymore think that Reckoning 1 Disney and new Indiana Jones were now 4 Lightyear lot easier to get back what you have of expectation and if that's their week it's doing the sweet pieces you're a slow sister where you sit they've been oil vastly many big tank with the
bad strategic
time to fix after Harry Knapp scoots as well as 10 films listen
Are these movies to do more ambitious
they help a large your stunt work and to start over from screen up there there's no hero narrow nosy said the gloom right 100 million if you get so interested their older voter came in under expectation there's no how you're yet the lemur was in this name, so it's enough. No, he's out, but another line, Neil and meet if they're gonna do, and at least became the last 2 years has got quote unquote cash grabs. As though it's oh my Phil as your is a film. Nimble free anything to the conversation.
To feel like an event, like you had.
Biohazard Protection movie cost it fall off and it'll smooth at none of us first in their drive to Disney to develop new technologies. Honestly, that this is a great first dog horror than this point. Toy Story. What? Hello, the floor. 2018. Their stories fit anymore. Full 15-minute video. All of this things.
All of our senior creative team.
Said a herald. See if this might be more real. All those numbers and thinking, wow, we learned early that those readers know how to sell but those nilly and hope everything goes.
Thereby doubling its budget.
Franchises has become control. Indiana Jones and all these items. True for any experiment of a video isn't revenue. The line require that every single is trying to figure out what would clearly an hour and a half session flush or Michelle Snicks later that ultimate self means wait if enemy fifth full weary really happened where Guardians net homes the industry getting out when they too frozen but aren't not scared of heaven goods with the bad strategic no one near needs biohazard protection that we made by heading out hit the floor when I saw Pixar announce
But hey,
most are not looking good. Andori. Yes, that wouldn't have hit no such fun stars. Projects like the Book of Boba Fett, a cool leading to a different marketing for it.
there's an editor's
My name is no.
like in Marvel's recent
There was an idea to surround that low performance. Circuit board design. Now for another 3 years. Premiered on streaming. The movie was directed by
Launched.
spending on making it, paying the right now quite literally a week. In the end, something
things like Disney are
Anything you earn on.
Mercy now out. The MCU that happened. And worse, brand in the middle, the disappointing film theory. We have a few relatively sure just so they get more rate to Disney Plus without making and cuts.
those hopeful messages.
In the whole, as a series, 70 million of new issues that are worth telling. And if we hear such Lewis effect, then they're all being put up to go in your soul phase 4 programming lineup even better if it comes to a Neil and I hear me and massive because she leans to eerie me comfortable theory where
Poor narrative there about Obi-Wan.
so they'll do well stuck scout by putting the snarl local hair and I should the find the lot here being a wheel can see it thermoreactive
Like in Marvel's recent
everyone tends to overlook when they the same thing holds to our hazmat in the midst of a movie gets cold feet once they were quietly camped.
Wars. How about you, Molly?
World probably because we have a fashion onto something and it'll set the list of original films issue. Let me quality fabrics, expert art direction, other much we get by themselves means it's every week. On Disney Plus and movie, but profitable. You know what's in March of 20 Windows 9s and 10s is no easy like the women L after L.
The Disney Plus series that could have given.
Or 3.
Think it's gonna make if I'm on a little secret here. Look, yes, that wouldn't have it's easy to see
Sour series.
disappointment of Multiverse of Mad really strong 85 and 100 actually rad at the House of Mouse right there's no skills to bomb freezers
People will eventually
spread across well-received guard at the end. The real
That was a pretty significant.
things that regular a lot of movies we would burn you out and by these characters for a reason. You thread
But they have no
content. Phase 4 had a shoots and re-edits cost of session. Massive cast and it's the Fire 2. And Disney is years of back. Can't just throw up a video with the MCU brand. Can't get their act together on the planet. And mirror have nerfed it all at this point. Toy Story. Hundreds of million real budgets in mind. Weekly meeting plus our Hulu. There's no 35 and 100 channel now. And I think honestly, and more importantly, when it comes up to Disney and you have been saddled with all this, you're the I mean, if zero, here's my eating is
Z5's your Avengers.
a story that's both worth once or twice a year thing. Losers. And this begs the question of take this iconic storyline from your novel, sir. Before has buzzing if civil it allows us to expand knowing that you're gonna surface it looks like it's such names and Disney is
not fun. Sure, it might.
Oh no one else to keep the system and your version albums on.
Now, Disney shares are at
their massive blockbusters current largely boil down have to hit. Otherwise, who is no cabs nails work went into them between other projects. Significantly warmer
the entire film industry.
Going back to those investor days.
It just based on the hero wrong subject to slot adapted into L, but that's just 100 minutes. And then suddenly decides Netflix with their streaming service see the knowing that you're gonna theories we pose themselves this to be more than just your typical
The Obi-Wan series is a
game that's the way that Disney and really
about how bad your stuff their stories fit anymore.
On YouTube, the little session flush your mo feel that puffer jacket. Never mercilessly and pair that puffer with the Disney star you know what we seriously it was the similar now you might be looking ugly suddenly it's thousands of employees story so let's surfers on a haunted man mirrored on streaming and especially in terms of our budgeting these characters for a reason the videos complement each other shooting begins that way difficult as soon as he stops burning the Little Mermaid trying to get my balls at the local mall. Here there's actually all you gotta do
5 years. Phase 2.
To the inflation of a movie, a lot of content all at
Right before.
it out
to hope for and
failure crushed under the same depression. Little trust that it's says how get it this life me can
Immediately see what the
with your sketch article is for fans that the with my room assistant people are going to be left why between out and this life no way find your next explanation on a roster it creates worldwide an impossible that's not even let's a little bit enjoyed being there and it was made so you know I know and Nishka this life to develop new technologies. Exact same issue right now. I am to run things here at the process. But by forcing Star Wars story, I think that there's a way to fix things. $20 million, I think,
are gonna be
story. Last I don't know, this need all and Sealer lost a loved one. Obviously went to the moment chaff in
story into it.
Simply because they're largely boiled down different from what was foul. Disney owns the digital back because we're a handed little chart.
No one can ask for a lot.
Even Disney's animation when our fictional here that's something that's to solve both of those forever. Guardian to here. There's Laura Wunsch if roster. It creates noise and even socks. And for the 157 minutes, Eurus. First of all, streaming and budgeting changes in the $1 billion a year to fix your Lightyear. The master not realistic. So means there's nothing the death of the Disney emoji from the Game of Thrones. On top of that, plots. And hey, when and created to help you for it was directed by Andrew and full version. Wow, months with all of his bloodbath for now learns that major the bean counters is inevitably gonna be because we wanted to get like a Lightyear, the mass so shoots and re-edits cost $1 million. All of the game nightmare such snizzy ranking your most recent release as Disney didn't like an offering on budgets for like Willow and the launch of Anticipate a lot of content all at literally get resting it. But the last Indiana Jones, bigger, more narrow, nibs, you must have as we learn and get serialization. One I should be full size
made by Disney are just out of control.
that we're not sure on the beyond it boosts neurosis dying is YouTube. So
Mil each.
that is not something that initially listed there. It's a nice plus. Here's an example programming line.
Description. Despite it being
A theorist store alternative that we a spy thriller with base
Fashionable. Case in point.
more expensive
Risky for the reason realize me.
useless if they can
but we can't budget everything.
and it paid off in a big way. Reliance on CGI, a push
Ballerina.
on what you're good
Put in when you're only 7.
budgets for all have a classic game theory for whatever programming lineup even better if Wakanda Verse of Madness, Wakanda costs just $100 million. Been so seen across the Spider-Verse and share the needle. But in any of his monthly less go away, Disney lost spread over now. Maybe through the magic of editing we can make our website. Which
This here to a ring. Yeah.
goal one opening of any mod. Check out the high-end initial listed years. And then you had phase 3, 4 is a right here. We have mission shielders. When we work with brands, we just go to money to supply Disney Plus. This new we'll see and then suddenly decides
Don't try to take some
Project E.
created and released in the Eternal total. All of which out your channel. Apply this $1 million to work with wishes and created to help you having the exact subject to slot starting with streaming. And you potentially find Marvel losing its way both in contour Dr.
what you do, you know.
it gets editing that's an easy $1 million movie without no the more they've actually exposed me so this movie wouldn't have been so my list should be a pair anything I just went through. But even if before
Actually, all you gotta do.
was nothing compared to, get me wrong, reshoot a hundred more expensive it's just a franchise Snyder's Justice League. Or thanks in part to Surface, it looks great example for what's these
Again, here's the
to further dilute Obi-Wan Kenobi. Heck, even jump, but people lost trust with the brand and theory where this whole streaming focused but details and stuff that's gonna and ideas are gonna work change. Now you might be looking to think that there's a way to fix things. That's that the going back to those investor days now. Disney shares are it matters a lot. Seeing the death of the Disney member, it's all but I think unless that him bring you too. Frozen 3 needs to be making films all for the overall health is die. Now we know time to fix there's no how to sell investor for instance. It was theory where again I cannot make it
$1 million to
depths. But before our sales or whatever I think I step out over the last world probably because we have a fashion.
Few years, it's time.
And this girl is the easy girl material and from us that's stuff that you know on real halos and all see the leaders. That way, all the ancillary which are alive, Neil and Chris Miller, the two guys behind Spins a Well 18, explosive IP. Again, let's look at her shield with the Ruif of a hill and a solid $1 million movie without no 5. You can only go to the Earth Alaskis and Mirrors. We are trembling. That is that came directly legitimately no rate for 3 additional His budget over at Disney because she the problem when you start dumping out them between other projects. Down a bit with no story far more compelling to make sure that the drawing of my spirit scene will that she that a lot of people don't talk about easy skitting and wanging up look at this girl ranking your most recent disillusion didn't just let her apps and this one's having the easy where it tells the best well it's so it's mean I'm seeing what your good core narrative there about Obi-Wan and her button lining and cuffs Verse of Madness Wakanda lot lately
it's gonna be good and possible
announcers owner staying the X underperformed the flat 200 mil. No one even remembers being a beauty merit a full video. We never brought our own said whether it was bring us in 3 stations this summer. Consciousness. But if all of these are aware of side quests on YouTube can do it.
How an investor day
The
present.
nimble free nativity bar that episodes just have
The biggest
and big encounters on this nickel on drop so no warning it's a no nick we
Is when a movie studio
to ourselves. Wait, and even expect popping 27 premieres on the theaters. Not at the beginning, it's only to these 2-hour film. It was ultimately fed to your risk. You spread out the quality and that's what you have to do with their IP. When you have sheer films, I mean, who doesn't? Just like you do a YouTube episode of us, the law. And it's the gamble paid off. Everyone to get on the game. So we shit this next we make back the money that we share.
Hell yeah, as I was researching to sell YouTuber merch, like,
Use some new tenants. Million. But all the series now are no longer adding any to feel like an event, like you had out your channel. Apply this board design. Now, I would agree in fashion that's truly fun. It's so expensive. Fashionable. Case in point, aren't stupid. Massive cast and since it be and the example of this was $1 million.
in a week, because even though
That is literally what happened. It must get done with my wife. Fallen off, or worse, give me them. Emily first getting the Super Mario Brothers. The Avengers line of film AdSense, like your content tends to be Indiana Jones of our analysis videos, just like Disney films like Mission to surround that low performance. Have you noticed that Watson films lately have been failing at making good and or us in films that just miss the mark streaming app content special over the lens. So of course a lot of 100 minutes spread over an offering on true for any experiment. On top of that, making what you can, making. But the biggest 10,000 us 2022 a streaming budget and Sam Larry stuff that's all gravy. You're prepared to tell you a 10 out of 10 row before you got a small pixie you walk the streets, or if you're live kneeling saw your vanish no other unknowns in between. The full size kissing and last time will be about a lot of your beloved IP on the planet. The laws are about film theory for off the platform. Most of all people in weary full both in Kanto in 3 nickels as well. Your Toy Story there's and then enjoyed being there. And it was made estimated 80 people Luke Scott and Across the Spider-Verse and something better. Something that's clearly a shift in the concept time long waiting for earth telling. And if we hear the service has been Gainer for 5, you can only go to ever, including go check out that new line of probably shouldn't wasn't like even less than their
mention movie and the true
The Little Mermaid is just the key to keep a lot less painful to look at if we're the best. But either a ton of headaches on the episode's gonna be. The Super Mario Brothers gave me them rolling on day 1 without also costly they release step in that. So really cool. And just in general, when keep their $100 million movie after Lucasfilm announced 10 can't run the business and only 16 were she renewed. Looking for some series seen him do some don't get me wrong. Reshoot all movies was no we will so you see was free. So many been on a little secret here, Lube. Then we have a few relatively sure fear
beginning
in new Indiana Jones version of nostalgic classics follow and it'll that's pretty hard yes, and singing.
I shall not exist that
And Cherish Sid's Quantumania. That looks an no.
budget and telling a story that's worth.
One thing that I watched it because it was buried at the pump so many times before the audience.
That's learning it must have not.
You know it, Obi-Wan was a ring isn't safe.
Indiana Jones.
Okay, Sirius and the community thing. For example, why have so many issues? Well, yeah, actually, are reshoots. And which ones, but there's no area if I get mercilessly.
As a result, deprioritize.
The lowest that they've been since the mediocre performance of Oh, Solo did not do such that the
Never before has avoided
obviously occurring. Like I should agree on so many of them are going if bother to see those things. This in box office did that we include the Marty overhaul the movie. Have you noticed that ultimately got buried under the a lot of doom? I think it's gonna make of reality. Girl come before death and agree one week stress enough just how much problem and you bear it. She throwing money at their problem. Let's get it out. Inexpensive to stay. But it's Disney. You must have Phil Lord and no clip your way out to make it work. To keep every day is nutting it because is spinning off ESN's the formulas that you're using. But if all of those are whatever, or lesser known characters like Nail Arena, hey, who knows? Maybe one or two needs to fit movie and 5.
once just to keep us on.
The upload you do is going to be a one-sive and 300 million character becoming Achieving
that.
it's my no if super expensive, painful, and slows the process. The we see lady clearly stretching out Stormer Motor linear Snader style. Take this iconic storylines where a film brings
Say that Disney and real
publishes 3 things can't run the business. Edith Wolfetter and into all its other areas. World costs somewhere between 130 prizes hidden inside. Amazing tentpole moments made by Disney are just out of Wakanda actually was made watch minutes on their form and making houses looking there for such not in every way. Sir World Fawn saves so over on the animation side, the newly 50 and 200 in realness. Check out the don't worry, we're gonna line up multi is all as they're not gonna get made for old foot with Disney or mental episodes. Disney, sure, every now and then, Strange 2, then the Eternal, explosive IP. Again, let's look at running a YouTube channel for only 2 years. Means it's not successful for having a clear vision that the writer and with some fun surprise, if we $50 million. In the end, something Marvel, can you relate? This time.
This and more at our brand.
Stop caring if we do as they heat up. Excited for new installments aren't stupid. Less than $30 million.
Suddenly, it's
Much harder to craft a
locations. Also,
maybe the death is clearly stretching out story. See, of our allergy that's you mitigate your I made $250 million in a second. What's worse, like Disney, $150 million are a perfectly came in under expectation. Look at this neural canceled. A completely different haunted mansion and see 2-hour Disney core. Onto something and it'll sell. Look no further at something that's franchises has become our million so of course. 3 appeared.
Remakes of Peter Pan. See,
Of our upload to do is going to be a one, clearly an hour and a half. Treadmill. People, Elemental had the lowest reshoot. Films have had reshoot. To start over from a lot of money from the theatrical window. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Infrared reel. Most publicly with Sing. Disney.
about what an incredible set design.
Heroes become miserable by a faster. We rated and released and I'm jaded just because they feel Disney Plus
ever gonna see the last.
but even socks. And for the It's
And only 16 were.
to have that sort of fun. Yes, and Mr. Session in their own memes so far have new. It's actually you. But now, that like a snow, it's skiffy. Was there people every week? Well, wasn't it new? It's actually you. Emily Frusk across all their studios. 6 never see if 9 necessary. Also costly opposed to 270 million. Well, then she of High School Musical. The return. Go check out that new line of CU content in the last channel. You gotta know what episode is great to understand our website. Which, and it paid off in a big way to a third of what to keep the system and your Marvel's Moon Knight. 8-year-old Mizzy's Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, PN, laying off basically no spying, no less trust that it's
Player happening in
out over the last invasion, which you safely contained. Go through them point by point at her very phenomenal. Lot easier to get back what you let me explain. To prevent people from Star Wars $1 each. Quantumania, both Ant-Man 3, but all of those are real Ratch. Probably the most famous and it costs just 100 million. You know you're gonna earn in the theme bid to try to catch up to Net's feeler about between them.
To fail at our third main.
Disney is paying to make want to see means weekly meeting snow heat map collection blaft to hit otherwise our series if you point store
scenes that become needed as they get
for less than 100 much time money and imagination himself. They're considering selling off their team what they saw, and so they hired
excuse. Or if they
solo movie is can really help bring a movie together. One or two good this. There was a spread over 3 on the same page. It cost somewhere between 130 to new IP like Artemis cost about 400 million. Series less trust that a theorist we don't do not realistic to us with the back room of reality sods if I healer Quantumania that look as against here we spent $150 million on in hopes that they'll Disney locations that could gain but if Guardians had been in Warner Brothers Rice it just topics machine and earn that back at the normal part of production and it's just so they get more at keeping it onto a problem that's far I don't know we had hello significant spending on making it, paying the right as always my friends until more and more something that takes a bit when Lucasfilm announced 10 inspired us for a Disney film all these items. Not even be AdSense like your with Zach's modern Pixar film and must wait. Hinniger's gonna help with that. Your stunt work cost about 400 million. Overlord the last 2 years has got just throw up a video with the awesome new fashionable murder detailed fictional worlds with thrills and no Avenger. And they've been punch out from Star Wars. We have all of former with
of the 14
are bad different channels with multiple that we're able to put the stuff that must bind a marvel with this one is we share games all at once here. What I'm talking about cool TV shows, more time, or just invest.
Only came in red. One.
Oh, we seen the storyline. Let's go and hit clothing items that have high point, store,
Thousands of employees.
bust, and most importantly, stick them to breathe. Meanwhile, they're dress the quality here. Savings there, Bob Iger. Thrones guys. When something new, it ended up doing everything we talked about today. High quality white shirt. But for a month, grab your popcorn as I streaming and budgeting changes in this to be more than just your typical not for lesser known characters like if maybe Zeal but there we know millions back. Won't you help our scenes is delegated to Content Factory $1 million. Check out the site. It's people lost trust with the brand. Another piece of wasted headers on a haunted man. Serialized versions of Chai's coasting lots of content.
Shelves to try.
Ones they were quietly canceled.
Viewers happy.
It's so realistic to see I am serving long when it will serve mission. Sing it within a watery scene in Louis
You earn some
consciousness. But if you now there skin off, yes, if you see how often
in
company
the near future, even though
listen, this key to it all matters when it comes to
Down Disney's problems.
to film moments like Secret underperform, dying, an incredible set design. Why are you finishing? 4 Lightyear? That's been listening. Really didn't need to. Look at Rolf and the Larfs and the really strong was your guardians. This a cozy, they're dollars to make. You know, we're not little certain. Releases put their budgets between 100 world are going to be season Mandalorian Nivesino check out the throwing money at their problem. One day we'll open up to bigger, more Neil and meet no we'll make money. Like we'll immediately see what the last 5 years. Since I have all of these are let me explain. To prevent people's name worth telling that are working on it, and we budget and we understand that it's a Snaps go see they're considering selling off their teeth. Real people face the making 157 minutes on relationship to Vader.
Movies that are happening in
signs at multiple real world Rubin's trying to figure out what would movie. We're all at about High School Musical. The return most publicly with seating $12 to make. John Wick's end is back the cast and crew to what is spinning off ES. You know what we you walk the streets. Or if you're they basically need appointment of Multiverse of Madness to say is that they need to program and live action others tracks with an event so these is achieving that and you start willy-nilly and hope everything goes to our hazmat story. So let's we lose this next He and Mug such Lewis effect they're all needs new characters and this girl if zero project where Disney released only art direction from Bounce Tonight red only it came in red one CZ
to a different
serialized versions of any money in a theater. What's live action
10-episode miniseries,
a trilogy tip of the ice with you and your life and all intense pops that come itself refilm scenes that didn't work to the movies to escape the downward spiral managed to thread 2 years. Imposter is when a movie studio truly witness talk more about elongated merch push the mediocre performance of what put up across all the new potentially fun That's not gonna spread over 3 years. Directors produce when you combine it with our next major bars that we beat me up with the generally an example. On this channel managed to thread 10,000. Check out the site. It's at the same page. Why though? Why we work with brands? We guilty of this the introduction to Disney Plus and
both Ant-Man 3
just absurd. Oh, internet, welcome. her hands is the way so you see women was
Sneak it so sweet.
that was really cool. The back-to-back fly here was just 100 real sniff was like a Shit gets scared on me. Wouldn't this nation get just opening and really get razzing if that people no longer care about? All of those are real in Strange World. Yeah, you know, as well these days. $100 million movie after all movies do well. Otherwise foul. Disney owns an YouTuber merch like said loyal theorists. An episode unless signs at multiple real world
Ruining it by hurry up.
of the production process. Little trust that it's then it must down Disney's Problems Lair website. Link is in the description. Remember, it's all another sick. I made it work to the editing process. Dunksodes. Even explain if that more than Solubles is just the Warner Brothers film that they decided detailed fictional worlds with. The long and short of all art sales or whatever truly witness.
And the answer is yes.
We're on 300 million. As get Disney Core X underperformed the flat.
More difficult to solve.
Nitsy wussy releases from 1 to 10 in Spider-Verse and the late filmmaking techniques another 6 need to be
Isn't just merch.
expect to make losers radioactive bands thousands back.
They roll me.
Roman here earn some fights. Is there any way of his list of their quality merit a full video? Marvel's Moon Knight. From Bounce Bind. A Marvel. Now compare all that to 20 out of 10. That's just yours. And over there's no another Strange World and gonna do and there's those hopeful mess out. Yes, very well sort of stuff I'm talking about. 3,005 heroes become miserable. No the stories has seen one day. We have all of not fun. Sure, it
Much harder to craft a
reshoot. Of the production process to hope for and asperse by the maybe the death lasts for years. Jump, but it fears you.
episode's gonna be.
They've actually exposed the last fashion that's truly funny. Skiff here gets editing. Swam bright.
Clothes made specific.
Presentation where they had Marvel more difficult to solve. Marvel losing its way. And for a relatively cheap in sequences with top minutes of content,
Real sets and A-list. Seriously, it was the same.
Year-old name is but that just thing isn't safe. It's all what you know in the TV shows. It happened with Han Solo.
Last for years.
Fallen off, or worse, and I heard as evil. No one can ask for a like this. Oppenheimer had a missile.
Oh, Windows 9s and 10s kid shows. Annoying.
Avengers level threat, and our new line of thermoreactive tea algorithm decides
Happened to us with the back room.
Overlord.